see the woman standing right outside my passenger side window, giving me the same stare she had given me
Oh
before.
my God.
How is it going today? Loyalist Kingdom and Dwayne.
My name's Jasmine.
What are Jazz? Today we have for you 14 horror stories animated compilation.
Yes, part 3.
Part 3.
Because
So
we did like 2 parts already. So we're gonna continue because we know you guys love it. We love it.
We love it too.
And,
Try not to get scared.
Yeah.
These are awesome. I love these. We love horror. Period.
I know the last story. Last story got me mad, like, cause Anthony was stupid.
Anthony
was
stupid.
dumb, man.
And this is Mr. Nightmare that's narrating, so you
Yeah.
can check out his channel as well. You just
I
type
love
in
Miss
YouTube.
Nightmare. He's a good story.
Yeah, and Llama Arts, which is creating this, so go check their channel out.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Look
Appreciate
in
it.
your eye. There's something there. There's something there. Let me get it.
Oh my God, Jasmine, come on. This.
Hold on. I'm trying to get you my nails. It's so sharp.
Come on, Jasmine.
Thank
leave.
you. Now you can see clearly.
Let's dive on. I will see in just.
The
Okay.
crust is gone.
Let's dive on in.
Okay.
Honeymoon. The honeymoon.
I don't want to hear this story.
Me and my wife were on our honeymoon in Hawaii. We were on the island of Oahu, sitting on the beach.
It's gonna be
My
us
wife
one
got
day.
up to go to the bathroom, and when she got back, she told me that there was a creepy man watching her walk into the bathroom, and when she tried to walk out, he blocked her path. She only got away because there were 2 other people walking into the bathroom, so he got out of the way. I asked her what the man looked like.
Yeah, I would have been like, they.
But unfortunately,
Yeah, I get
she said
somebody.
he was gone. Our hotel was walking distance from the beach, so we got back quickly, but we made sure to report the man to a police officer we saw walking on the beach, and then we washed up before going out to eat. We ate at a fancy seafood place and did some walking around afterwards. Close to midnight, we finally went back to the room and began to wind down.
Ooh.
Then we got a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole of the door and saw a man in a maid uniform standing outside.
Why he looking like that?
I opened the door and he immediately tried to let himself in. I pushed him back a bit, asking him what he wanted. He told me he left something in the room while cleaning earlier and needed to get it out.
No,
The
you
only
didn't.
thing, we left the do not disturb sign on the door all day.
Uh-oh.
Then I noticed he was making eye contact with my wife. My wife then screamed, "That's the man."
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I
No.
didn't understand at first, but
Oh,
it was
no.
too late for that. The man had already lunged at me, holding my throat with one hand while
Jess, you better do
himself
something.
with another.
I know.
He pulled out a knife and started swinging at me, and if it weren't for my wife coming over and smashing his face with the lamp,
There you go,
he
wifey.
is dead.
Yes.
The commotion drew out all the inhabitants of the neighboring rooms.
Don't she look like
One of the
Muriel?
women started freaking out and
Birds.
screaming, making the situation worse. We called the police, and so did the hotel. It turned into a huge, horrible scene, but we were just happy to be alive.
That's what that man get. Don't you come in here?
Right.
We were questioned when the police arrived, and some of the other people around us claimed to have witnessed it all. We still don't know what kind of intentions this guy had,
He wanted to get you.
but if I had to guess,
Yeah.
I would say he wanted to get to my wife.
Yeah.
He must have been one very dumb person to think he would get away with something like this in such a public building.
Yes.
That's scary. That is scary,
That
man.
is so scary, man. I'll be fighting like crazy.
Yeah, no.
I don't do that. I probably would have fought him when he was trying to block me. Like, excuse me, sir.
I'll never forget this night. The pizza place I worked at was about to close, and I was getting ready to go home.
Another pizza
when the
guy.
phone rang.
I feel sorry for
I
y'all.
was working the counter alone that
Y'all
night,
be
so
getting
I was
worse.
taking calls. I picked up the phone. There was complete silence, so I hung up.
I'm playing on my phone.
About a minute later, the phone rings again, so I pick up again. Still silence. I was about to hang up again when I heard the very weak and cold voice of an old woman on the other end. She said she wanted a regular pie delivered. I remained
I don't
polite
think
on the
he's a
phone,
big nigger.
but on the inside I was screaming. I just wanted to get home and end my shift.
Yes.
I called out to my boss that somebody is requesting a delivery. He told me I had to go. I was upset at first, but I realized it's another tip, and the old ones usually tip the most, so
That's
I decided it was okay.
The old ones.
I took down the address and told her it would be there soon, but she had already hung up. I thought that was rude, but I ignored it and yelled to the chef that I needed one regular. My boss told me to just go home after the delivery as the place would be closed. So a little before 10 o'clock, I got in my car and put the address into my GPS. The house was 7 miles away.
Damn.
The GPS took me to the quiet side of town. I arrived to the house.
No.
It was a small one-floor house on a very quiet and empty block. I took the pizza and walked up to the door and rang the
I would have
doorbell.
left it.
There were no lights on in the house. I hoped that she hadn't given me the wrong address.
Or died.
I rang the doorbell again. There was still no answer. I was about to give up when I turned my head and saw somebody standing at the window. I got a little freaked out and backed up at first, but I eventually got closer to the window to see the person. It was an old woman, probably in her late 70s.
She gotta look like
She was
that.
just staring at me with a blank expression. I yelled to her through the glass that I had her pizza. She didn't react to what I said, so I screamed it louder.
I have your
A big
pizza.
smile ran across her face. Not a pleasant, genuine smile. It was a smile that sent chills down my spine. I still remember that exact face she made through the window. I decided that I was freaked out enough and got back to my car and set the pizza in the passenger seat. I had to text my boss about this. I shot him a quick text and started my car, ready to get the hell away.
She gonna run that
you better
thing.
I
go.
looked to my right to get one more look, to see the woman standing right outside my passenger side window, giving me the same stare she had given me
Oh
before.
my God.
I put
Grandma,
my car on the
fast.
front floor to
I will
demonstrate
run you
not
over,
looking back.
Grandma.
My boss never made me do a late night delivery again.
Oh my God. What would you do if just you put your pizza down, you just buckle up your seatbelt, and then you just look over and
She
just,
fast. She Usain Bolt.
Oh, man, please.
Get out challenge on us. And
Man, please.
then just like,
Yes.
I'll scare the hell out of me, bro.
Oh, this one's trick or treat.
It was
Halloween.
Halloween night of 2007, freshman year in high school, and I was with my friends, Ivan, Ryan, and Jesse.
I like those
We were all
costumes.
dressed as the Super Mario characters.
Yes.
I was Luigi since I was the second tallest. Ivan was Mario since he's short and
Mario.
buff.
Mario.
Not that Mario was buff. Jesse was Waluigi because
Waluigi.
he's freakishly tall and skinny. And
Yeah.
Ryan was Wario
Short and
because he's just really fat.
I love him the most though.
Costumes for us.
Wario. I love
We
Wario's
live in a
world.
very non-congested suburban neighborhood with a decent amount of space in between houses. On Halloween, that's the worst thing ever.
Yes, it is.
Less bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
We were trick-or-treating for hours, way past dark, and eventually came the time when most trick-or-treaters were heading home.
Or going to sleep.
My feet started to hurt, and I had to constantly switch arms for holding the now 10-pound pillow sack of candy. But we planned on going until our bags were completely full.
Y'all just
A lot of the
greedy.
houses by now weren't answering anymore. It was probably past their cutoff time for giving candy to trick-or-treaters. Approaching our next house, we saw a purple bucket on the stoop, which was the best feeling ever. I was the one to get close enough to realize it was empty,
Of
which
course
was the
it is.
worst feeling ever. I turned around when I heard a knock at the window of the house.
Here we
We all
go.
looked at the window. Couldn't see anyone,
Oh, I'm
but
not coming.
heard someone call out,
You be quiet.
"Wait."
My dog doesn't like barking noises.
The door opened,
Knocking
and an
noises,
older
I said
man,
barking.
late 40s, already balding, stepped outside. He told us to come inside so he can get us some more candy.
Hell nah.
No.
I said we could just wait out here.
Yeah.
He responded saying something along the lines of, "Nonsense, come on in, we'll get you your candy." Ivan stepped in and
was
said,
that?
"It's all right. Come on, Dan, let's go."
You
I
ready to
told
go
him
What?
to
home?
take care and apologized. He just stood there watching as we walked off, not saying anything.
Who's
I
that?
felt bad, but at the same time, that guy seemed like a creeper. I
Yeah.
figured I just dodged a bullet not going in there. If the story ended there, it wouldn't be scary. So of course, it didn't end there. We skipped a
course
few
it
of the
didn't.
guy's neighboring houses just to get further away and continued on with our business. We were walking down close to the nature preserve now, so there weren't many houses around us. At this point, we were now walking back closer to Jesse's house. I noticed Ryan had stopped walking, and I turned around to see what's up. He said he heard someone moving from behind the trees in the preserve. Now, this was before everyone's phones had flashlights, so we couldn't
Oh,
just
no.
go searching in the woods for someone. Besides, we were just telling Ryan that it must have been a raccoon or something. You may think this is a bit of a cliche, but when things like this happen in real life, you always assume the more logical possibility. It's just natural.
No.
Why would we assume we were being followed? I had to put my arm around Ryan's shoulder and nudge him forward. A little ways down the street, me and Ivan picked up on the sound as well.
Even if it was an animal,
When we
I
all
would
stopped,
stop.
the sounds of the footsteps from beyond the trees stopped as well. Ivan yelled at the obvious stalker to go away, or we would beat the shit out of them.
You don't play
He
no
was just
game.
bluffing though. I could hear the nervousness in his voice. The snap of a twig from beyond the trees triggered a fight-or-flight response in all of us. Me, Jesse, and Ryan all ran for it. Ivan was at first charging to attack, but he quickly followed after realizing we had all taken off. We ran down
Bro,
the dark
suck
street.
for not telling you, bro.
We all noticed
Right.
the sounds of at least 2 or 3 pairs of footsteps crushing the twigs and leaves in the woods. We banked it hard right down Jesse Street when it finally came up and ran straight for his backyard, entering his house through the back door. The first thing we did was peek out through his living room window. We couldn't see anyone. We all had to gather
Oh,
our
no.
thoughts and discuss what the hell just went down in his living room, when all of a sudden we heard Jesse's backyard gate slam shut. Jesse dove to turn off the lights. There was a click and a bang from down in the den. It was more than likely Jesse's back door. We
Y'all
all
didn't lock
agreed to
that?
go down armed
Never
with
lock
knives
it.
and face them.
Never lock it.
Jesse turned on his back door light, but there was nobody out there. Just then the front door opened, and we all screamed like animals. Jesse's mom and sisters came rushing downstairs. They had just gotten home from their friend's little house party. We all rested assured knowing it was just them. Jesse explained what happened, but made it seem a lot less dramatic. Me and Ivan went home after that and called it a night. At 12:30 a.m.,
It's
I
not
got
on.
a disturbing text message. It was from Jesse. It said, "It wasn't my mom." I texted back saying,
What?
What? He responded back quickly, saying, "It wasn't my mom in the backyard." My fingers slammed the buttons on my phone, responding back, "What do you mean?" There was a long pause before he finally told me that his mom and sisters said they never went in the backyard.
Somebody was
I told
following
him
them.
to immediately check the backyard from his upper deck. He had already done just that. He also told his mom everything, and she had already called the police.
Thank you.
They didn't find anyone back there, but Jesse did mention the guy who invited us in while trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing ever became of that, and nothing ever happened at Jesse's house
Slender
again
Man.
after that one Halloween night.
Yeah, you be getting scared off everything, babe.
I thought something else was gonna happen.
Alright, so we're gonna end it right there, man. This is part 3.
Don't ever come in nobody's house. First of all, they should have known it was set up by seeing that bucket there, okay? 'Cause
Yeah.
I know from trick-or-treating, if there's a bucket of candy out there, whoever's the first one to get to that is taking that whole bucket. They're just dumping the whole thing in their bag and then they're leaving. Like, nobody else is coming. Like, nobody's gonna just take, just one
So
piece.
just gonna take one. No.
One?
No.
Like, the only way that that's gonna happen is if you're trick-or-treating with your parents and then they're like, no, just take one, Jimmy. And like, you just take one. But other than that, they're gonna take that whole bucket. So when you
Right.
see a bucket, just keep going.
Yeah.
It's empty, okay? And then if he says, oh yeah, come in my house.
Hell no.
There was one time when I was trick-or-treating though, and like we went up to this one guy's house and he was like, oh, I don't have any candy, but hold on one second. So he went and he left and then he came back and he gave us all $1 each because he had no candy. And he was like, hey, yeah, here's $1. We were like, okay. We took it
That was
anyway.
lit. That was lit.
I know. I just went to that
somebody-
man's house every year. He kept having candy though. I'm like,
Yeah,
dang it.
that sounds lit. But anyway, guys, please comment below. Tell us what you think.
Don't forget to like,
Subscribe.
and share.
Do some more, guys.
Visit.